Israel is a lot of different things to many people, and it's one of the most dynamic countries in the world. Associated with conflict and political unrest, it's also a beautiful and fascinating place to travel. Being able to explore this country has always been a bucket list destination for me, and I hope you enjoyed this journey as I travel throughout the Holy Land. Today, I start my adventure to Jerusalem. With a metropolitan population of 1.25 million people, this is the capital of Israel, one of the oldest cities in all of the world, and considered a holy land for Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Today we're finally visiting Jerusalem, and we're right outside the walls of the old city. I took Brad with me today. Tiny open-fronted shops sell souvenirs of olive wood, silverwork, mother of pearl, leather, hand-blown glass, pottery, and religious artifacts. One thing to keep in mind is that the majority of the shops we went to only accept cash payment. I had to start using that. This kind of reminds me of walking in like Dubrovnik, like King's Landing in a sense. Kind of makes me feel like that. We're rolling through some of these alleyways, and it looks to me like the buses are starting to roll in because now we got a little crowd. Some of these shops are like really, really neat and have tons of stuff that I want to get. There's no system to this madness. We're just walking until we find where the holy or whatever it's called. If you think that was bad, just wait till I try to pronounce it again. We're trying to make it to the church, but everywhere we go, they're not allowing us through unless we're Muslim. So I don't know if we're going to be able to see it today. We're trying to find another route. Alright, we're going to attempt this again. After a few failed attempts and some Google Maps navigation, we noticed one of the security guards not paying attention, so we went through the checkpoint under the radar. See what happens. We made it through? Oh, okay. Just blend in with the crowd. Just blend in with the crowd. We made it through. That's the only thing that matters. So with the Western Wall, that's actually just outside the checkpoint. You're greeted with the Western Wall, a place for prayer and pilgrimage sacred to many people. It is the only remains of the retaining wall surrounding the Temple Mount, the site of the first and second temple of Jerusalem. Before the start of this trip, friends and family wrote special prayers to be placed into the wall, and I truthfully can say to this day, none were unsealed. All the prayers in the hand, and we're going to walk up to the wall and place them in the wall. I didn't read any one of them. Wanted that special message to be from you to God, so just know that. Twice a year before the Jewish New Year and ahead of the Passover festival in spring, the rabbi of the Western Wall oversees the collection of the prayers to make room for more. After they are removed by the cleaners, the notes are then buried on the Mount of Olives. Rabbi Rabinovich said, "God willing, these notes will be buried, and we hope that God will hear the prayers of all who put their request here from Israel and abroad, Jews and non-Jews alike." After paying our respects at the Western Wall, we set out to find the entrance to the Dome of the Rock. Now, I'm not sure if it's because of Shabbat or construction, but the entrance was closed. At that point, we stumbled upon an archaeological park called the Davidson Center. At the time, we had no idea of the historical significance, but later found out that these ruins were from the First and the Second Temple periods. One of the many impressive discoveries is a drainage channel which was found under the streets containing rare finds from the days of destruction of Jerusalem. This channel used to be a place where the ancient warriors escaped to, hoping to find shelter from the Romans. There's many benefits to having a tour guide, as you're able to understand some of the things that you're looking at. However, with the time that we were allotted, a tour guide was not in our cards. Our plan was to document as much as we could and do our research later. After spending some time at the Davidson Center, we found a really cool restaurant in the Muslim quarter that offered an exquisite layout.
This is actually not bad at all. We do get lamb kebabs.
Yep.
It's the same thing. The only thing he's missing is the chicken. Yeah. Chicken stick.
After we consume all this good food, we make our way to the Christian quarter so we can see the
Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Man, I don't know how to pronounce it.
To be fair, I wasn't the only one that was struggling with the name. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre is the most important site to Christianity. There's been so many changes to the church over the years that it's hard to picture how Calvary and the burial tomb of Christ would have looked in its original state. While walking throughout the church, I was confused because my whole life I envisioned Christ on a mountaintop during his crucifixion and his burial being inside of a cave. And later I found out this specific spot that we're in used to be a quarry. The place of Calvary was once a stone quarry that supplied stone for the building of the temple and so forth during the time of Christ. There was a road that passed by the stone quarry for travelers entering and leaving Jerusalem. Because the quarry had fallen out of use for many years before Christ, it slowly developed into a garden and had a cistern and pool of water close by. Some of the rock was left, and upon it the Romans crucified people. Part of this rock can still be seen today in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The Edicule, or Tomb of Christ, has been renovated several times since the Crusaders. It suffered an earthquake in 1927 and was shored up. Then recently in 2016, it underwent a major renovation. There is nothing but the floor and the back edge of the tomb that is from the time of Christ. In 2016, the marble slab that covered the tomb of Jesus was uncovered and placed at the entrance of the church.
We're gonna wait in this line.
There was no posted sign saying that photography and videography was not allowed. However, the gentleman that was escorting the small groups inside the tomb asked us to turn off our cameras. So here's the little bit of footage I got before turning them off. I hope you enjoyed my travel throughout Jerusalem. This experience is far more special than this video could ever portray, but I'm very happy to have this to look back on years to come. Here are some of the best photos I've ever taken, and one day I'll have them printed. In closing, it was here that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. This place is where it all began and should cause deep gratitude for what happened here. History has not forgotten what happened, and for this reason, this place has been venerated and preserved for over centuries and millenniums. Christ's existence and the work on the cross is an undeniable historical event that proves that Christ is who he says he was, and indeed the Savior of the world.